Her press secretary, Kirsten Allen, who you see there pictured, has been alongside her nearly every step of the way. And Kirsten joins us now in studio. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
So you're here during this crazy storm. You're all going to be here this weekend for it. The administration obviously thinking about this. What is the administration plan on this?
Absolutely. I mean, we're keeping an eye on it, obviously, through the highest levels, and want to make sure our folks listen to their local officials, take all the precautions necessary, but obviously we'll keep an eye and have to respond.
And the VP really going to keep an eye on it as she's here this weekend. Let's talk for a moment about some of her big priorities, what she's been talking about most as she travels the country.
Well, the Vice President will continue to talk about what this administration has accomplished, its historic accomplishments, whether it is lowering the cost of prescription drugs or making the biggest investment in the climate crisis in our nation's history, but also the things that are important to her, which continue to be investing in our nation's small businesses. This administration has invested over $12 billion in community lenders so that our small businesses can not only expand, but also thrive and continue to employ our nation's communities. And so another piece of that will also be our continued fight for freedoms, the fundamental freedoms that Californians know that the Vice President will always fight for, whether it's a woman's right to choose without her government interfering, or a fight back against attacks on our democracy. Those will continue to be things that she's going to fight for.
So let's talk about her, because there's so much said about her by people who have never met her. What do you think is the biggest misconception about Kamala Harris?
I won't speak to their misconceptions, but I will speak to who she is. And she is not only a dedicated public servant, but she is a fighter for the people. I think many people saw her jet down to Nashville when legislators were being attacked because they required and demanded action on gun violence. You'll see her whenever we can to be in front and be standing with women across our nation when they see extremist leaders fighting for a national abortion ban. So what I hope people get to know more as she jets across the nation is that not only is she a fighter, but she is a fighter for everyone because she believes this nation should work for everyone.
I've been out with you all in the field a lot, and one thing that I think isn't seen by most cameras is the way that young girls specifically react to her.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that sort of behind-the-scenes interaction between young girls, especially young black girls, and this historic vice president?
Absolutely. I mean, I will also say it's not just young black girls, it's young boys, it is their parents. She to them represents a dream that they could and can and will be anything that they want to be. And she encourages that. You hear her say often, I hope to be the first but not the last. And she is making sure that that door is wide and open for those who will come after her, for sure.
And meanwhile, let's ask a question about you. How has being in this job changed you?
It has, working for the president and the vice president, what bonds them is their passion for people. They know that they sit in the White House and their job is to make sure that they are transforming people's lives for the better, that this nation is welcoming and has opportunities for everyone. And so as I travel the nation with the vice president and seeing her commitment to making sure that the accomplishments of this administration touch every corner of this nation, it is an honor and a privilege.
It must be fascinating being in so many cities and seeing this country this way as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you see her going to rural communities, going to urban communities, in red states, in blue states, in purple states. And what you will see is people who are appreciative, they are honored, but also they know that they have a president and vice president that's fighting for them.
And of course, her favorite state is her home state, right?
She's vice president of the United States, but I will say she does have a special place for California in her heart.
All right, well, it's good to have her home. It's good to have you in our home. Kirsten Allen, great to see you.
Likewise.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.